I'm sure a lot of you are aware that Congress was nice enough to pass the cap and trade bill. It's now in the Senate, and they're expecting it to pass. What that bill is going to do, if it becomes law, is it may double and even triple the prices we pay for energy. Now that has more effect than just your power bill, because most of the electricity that we use here in Bay St. Louis is generated from a coal-fired power plant. With that said, we also use cars to drive down the road. They produce greenhouse gas emissions that would be taxed as well. Unfortunately, most of our food is delivered on 18-wheelers and trains and vehicles that also have to require to burn fossil fuels. So when the cost goes up for them, it all comes back to the cost going up for us as well. Which is another reason why we're being taxed into slavery. Now, I know a lot of people out there do like to give money to charity, but under legislation as proposed, taxing charitable contributions would deter giving, including the tax increase to cap an itemized deduction for charitable giving. By putting a new tax on charitable giving, the budget could cost American charities as much as $16 billion a year. Increasing taxes on charitable organizations and charitable giving comes at a time when millions of charities are struggling with the economic downturn, as is charities here locally in Bay St. Louis. Many charities are now struggling, and the taxing charitable giving will only make it worse for these organizations and would cause many of them to be shut down. Charities depending on donations by leasing the deduction of the public is discouraged from giving. The largest tax increase in American history. The budget will raise taxes by $1.4 trillion over the next 10 years, as I've said before, and the cap and trade bill is expected to raise it at least $640 billion alone. What it amounts to is about a $3,000 a year increase for everybody. It's not selective in enforcement. Pretty much everyone's going to be paying $3,000 or higher. And the average household, it will cost up to $3,128 annually in higher costs for natural gas, electricity, home heating oil, and gasoline. The tax burden would hit lower income, middle income families the hardest. Cap and trade tax is highly regressive, impacting mostly low and middle income families who spend a greater portion of their monthly income than higher income earners, potentially destroying anywhere from 1.8 million to 7 million jobs. The National Association of Manufacturers estimated net job loss of 3.4 million. The Heritage Foundation estimated job losses between 1.8 and 5.3 million. Charles Rivers and Associates estimated job losses as high as 7 million. I'm sure most of y'all are aware of that. Now, I printed out the Bill of Rights, first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Now, I can't name them all by heart, so I had to write them down. But I do want to go through them. They're not too long. So after I'm done, I'll turn it over to Mr. McKay, and we'll move on. First Amendment, the reason we're gathered here today. Congress shall make no laws respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Right now, I have to fill out a permit to have this event. I could not freely come here and have this event, because if I would have done so, I would have been considered trespassing on public property. The city also required me to provide security for the event at a cost out of my own pocket, which is unconstitutional because it does stifle the First Amendment by not allowing the people to freely assemble. The Second Amendment, I see a lot of "Don't Tread on Me" flags out there, so I'm sure most people are familiar. It says, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." That's not a very long statement. A lot of people have forgot what the militia actually is. Well, militia is everyone that is a citizen that is not a member of the National Guard, is not a member of the regular armed forces. If we look back to the American Revolution, if it were not for militias of citizens like yourself, we'd still be under British rule. So that should be one thing to consider. If we lose that right, we lose every other right. I believe that the Second Amendment was put there to protect the First. The Third Amendment. No soldier in peace shall be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. The Fourth Amendment. Now, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the ACLU, but they have a nice little thing on the website that says that right now we're standing in what's called the Constitution-free zone. That means at any point in time, federal authorities can stop you, detain you, and search your vehicle without any reasonable cause or any consent whatsoever. I guess it's out there to keep us free from terrorism. But I don't understand how we can be safe from terrorism when standing here 8 years after 9/11 almost, and we've yet to do anything to secure our borders. I remember I posted a blog one time on a website that asked people, would you consider an illegal immigrant to be a possible terrorist? After all, they did sneak into the country. And about 85% of the people said yes. Unfortunately, our government doesn't seem that that's a big deal. We do know that we do have people in this country that do not like us. And that's always going to be the case. But to think right now that we can trade our liberty for security is insane. I don't want to badmouth the local law enforcement, and I don't mean to in any way. But there are several court cases that state it is the role of the police department or the sheriff's department to protect the civic body or protect the corporation, the municipal corporation, the county corporation. It is not their job to protect us. It's their job to enforce the rules and regulations of said corporation. So we can see so far that some of these amendments we're losing already. The Fifth Amendment, probably one of the most important and forgotten amendments, is no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless a precedent or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land, naval forces, or in the militia, when actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject of the same offense twice, put in jeopardy of life or limb. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal defense to be a witness against himself, nor deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law and informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted by the witness against him, and to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in favor, and to have assistance of counsel for his defense.